Alright guys, let's talk about Peaky Blinders. The gang is back and season 5 has just ended. I was not too thrilled with season 3. As for season 4, I thought it was pretty good, even though I didn't like Adrian Brody. I wish they would leave the American Hollywood actors out of it. Just my opinion. And I'm going to try to give you a rundown of the season without any spoilers, without getting into it too much so it doesn't ruin anything for those that's going to be watching it on Netflix. So here we go. The season starts off with the stock market crash. Thomas blames Michael. He told him to pull the money out of stocks. He didn't listen, and nobody listens to Tommy. Pretty much the whole episode is focused on that. Thomas becomes suspicious of Michael, and he kind of demotes him, starts harassing him and all this and that. And Polly believes that Michael can gain his good graces back. And this results in Thomas and the others getting involved in seedier activities, more dangerous activities. For instance, they start rigging the soccer games, football games, rugby games, whatever it is over there. Also, Thomas gets involved in with the Chinese to transport opium. Thomas is still a member of Parliament. He catches the attention of fascist Oswald Mosley, who becomes the leader of the British Union of Fascists. Another villain this season is Jimmy McCavern. Jimmy McCavern is the leader of the Billy Boys. Jimmy and Oswald are working together. While Mosley goes out there and he riles up like-minded individuals, McCavern's Billy Boys keeps them in line, stops riots and all this and that. The Billy Boys set their sights on the Peaky Blinders and end up killing one of them. So the Peaky Blinders retaliate, but Thomas doesn't know about it. He has to pick up the pieces and try to patch everything together. During this time, Oswald begins manipulating Thomas, and he convinces him to work with him. Thomas thinks he's going to do a good deed and expose Oswald as the crook or whatever he is. This is pretty much the main storyline. There's the side stories with Arthur and Linda arguing back and forth. Michael gets married to Gina, and they seem to be going on their own way, plotting their own stuff. Polly and ABERAMA Gold seem like they're going to get married. But it's pretty much, the main storyline is Thomas Shelby versus fascist Oswald Mosley. The season has kind of got historical tidbits in it here and there, which is a good concept, but the only bad thing is the season just wasn't very good. And now we're going to tell you why. Now, if you don't want to hear my personal opinion or spoilers, I recommend stopping it now, hitting the X button, or just leaving. And remember, just because this is my personal opinion doesn't mean I'm saying anything about you. If you like the show, that's good. I just didn't, and I think it's helpful to have a dialogue and see why somebody did or didn't like the show. So if you liked it, let me know why you liked it so I can see why you liked it. And I liked parts of it, I just didn't like the whole thing as a whole, and I'll tell you why. First and foremost, we have Arthur. I love the Arthur character, but the gimmick is getting old at this point. It's back and forth with Arthur. He's either satisfied and happy or he's in a rage. He's gone berserk. He's either a loose cannon or he's pretty much in the background doing nothing. Either a saint or a sinner. There's no middle ground with Arthur, and he's on this hamster wheel, been on that hamster wheel for the past 2 or 3 seasons now. He gets angry, goes nuts, calms down, gets angry, goes nuts, calms down, over and over and over again, which I wish they did away with him this season, but it is what it is. Next thing is the people who got killed this season. Oswald survives, Thomas survives, Arthur survives, Polly survives, everybody survives except for the characters that really don't matter. ABERAMA Gold, and his son, Bonnie, are the 2 that get killed. Other than that, there's really nobody significant that gets killed. It's kind of gone the way of, it actually reminds me a lot of Wentworth, because nobody big really got killed, especially in the season finale, and then they're bringing back old characters. Why would you ever bring back Alfie? Alfie Solomons. Why would you ever bring him back? I never liked the character. Too much mumbling. Never could understand nothing he was saying. Just didn't like the character. I mean, he should have been killed off and left killed off. I don't get it, but whatever. So, yeah, he's back. I guess that's a big surprise. I don't know how people feel about that. Personally, I thought it was kind of desperation. The other thing is this season is just really slow. Nothing really happens at all. Really nothing happens. It's really, really slow. By the time I got to episode 5, I was like, holy shizzit. It's already the season finale. I really couldn't believe that nothing had happened. Nothing. And the finale, really nothing happens. The Peaky Blinders do not get their way. Thomas doesn't get his way. And I really think it would have been better if the writers would have went a step further and killed somebody that actually mattered instead of ABERAMA Gold. I mean, the character, yeah, good acting, kind of an interesting character, but until this season, and even in this season, it wasn't never really a big character. It had very little significance. And they also killed off Ada's boyfriend and her baby's daddy, which we suspect being younger. That was kind of quick, kind of predictable at the time when I watched the season. The season finale was just anticlimactic. It could have been good, but really nothing happened. Which was kind of a bad idea to go with the fascist setting. At least not the fascist setting, but to go with Oswald Mosley when everybody knows that he didn't get assassinated. It kind of really restricted the writing there, so it makes sense. But the good thing the season did is it set up the next season. At least it looks this way at this point. It looks like it's going to be Thomas Shelby against Michael Gray. Now at this point, I'm kind of siding with Michael Gray. Whenever he was laying out his strategy for expanding the drugs to America and letting Thomas take a back seat and become Mr. Jones, I was like, please take that offer and just end the season where it's at. Because, I mean, things are just dragging on at this point. The season was really, really, really slow. Not much to it. Tried to be more emotional for Thomas Shelby and the gang. Like, Arthur went off the deep end because he lost Linda. She tried to kill him. Didn't happen. Both of them survived. But he went off the deep end. He had this emotional trauma. And then we have Thomas struggling with his own demons and his own thinking about suicide and all this and that. Again, didn't happen. It was really open-ended this season. And then they brought all this stuff up and they didn't really end any of it. We don't know what happened to Jimmy. I guess Oswald's going to keep preaching his hate. Thomas is going, I'm sure he didn't kill himself, so he's going to keep doing what he's doing. He's going to go after Michael. I don't know what happened with, I think it was Captain Swift, the one played by Charlene McKenna, the one from Ripper Street. I don't know what happened with her. She was in it for like 10 seconds. I thought that was interesting, but then they just kind of swept it under the rug. Other than that, the season wasn't for me. I guess it was interesting if you like the historical significance of it, but it really didn't. It didn't do it for me. It didn't have any impact. I kind of turned against the Peaky Blinders, honestly. I felt it was boring. Thomas was taking too many risks to get his money back, and I really don't like that he's in Parliament and doing all this and that. It's kind of like Podark when Ross goes to London or wherever to speak out in Parliament. When he's away from Truro, it's really not all that interesting. I think it'd be better if they'd stayed where they are. And I think Thomas would be better if he'd keep focusing on the gang activity and less of the politics. But that's it. I'm sure most people won't agree with what I say, but that's just me. Again, I'm just spewing out of my mouth here. Some people will like it, some people agree, some people won't. But if you like the season or didn't, let me know, because I'd really like to know what other people's opinions on it was. But that's it. Let me know.